Welcome to today's explainer. Look, if you've ever felt completely stuck in that endless cycle of working incredibly hard without seeing any real financial progress, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're diving into a structured, step-by-step blueprint on how to go from absolute zero to making your first $10,000. And more importantly, how to actually turn that initial cash into long-term wealth. We are going to break down the exact strategies, show you how to dodge the common traps, and give you a real, practical roadmap to follow. Here's the game plan for today. 1. The first 10,000. 2. 4 paths to cash. 3. The high-income skill pyramid. And 4. The wealth-building risk scale. All right, diving right into section 1. The first 10,000. Proving the skill. Now, what's really fascinating about this specific target, 10 grand, is why it's not a million. Let's be honest, worrying about millions right out of the gate is just completely overwhelming. Hitting $10,000 isn't about rushing out to buy a supercar. It's fundamentally about proving to yourself that making money is a replicable skill, not just some random stroke of luck. Once you generate 10 grand from scratch, you know for sure you can do it again, and eventually you can scale it. This comparison brilliantly illustrates the exact trap we see beginners fall into all the time. Just look at the amateur mentality. People get desperate, right? So they jump headfirst into day trading or crypto because some internet guru promised it would make them rich overnight. But those methods require huge upfront cash reserves and, frankly, massive amounts of luck. They're tools to multiply money, not side hustles to actually start an income. Instead, you've got to adopt the pro mentality. You want to focus on things with extremely low startup costs that constantly put cash in your pocket every single day. So that begs the obvious question. If we're avoiding all those get-rich-quick schemes, what is the actual most efficient way to generate that initial cash flow? Which brings us to section 2, 4 paths to cash, evaluating your options. When you really sit down and evaluate your options, you've basically got 4 fundamental paths. First up, in-person services. Think dog walking or personal training. Now, they're incredibly fast to start, but they score super low on scalability because, well, you can only be in one place at a time. Second, local products, like handmade crafts. These are slow to scale, and your profit margins get completely eaten up by material costs. Third, you've got global products, like dropshipping. Sure, you get global reach, but your cash constantly gets trapped buying new inventory. So that leaves the clear winner, online services. Think video editing, copywriting, things like that. These combine a massive global reach with insane 70 to 80% profit margins. You start making money from day one, and the cash goes straight into your pocket. Okay, so you've picked the right vehicle, an online service. But picking it isn't enough, is it? How do you actually take a basic service and turn it into $10,000 without totally burning yourself out? Let's look at section 3, the high-income skill pyramid, scaling your income. This pyramid is made up of 4 high-income elements: positioning, leverage, reach, and automation. The source material strongly warns that mastering these together is what transforms a basic skill into a $10,000 income. But listen, if you miss just one of these steps, you are going to stay stuck at the bottom, working incredibly hard, but never quite breaking through to the real money. Here's the absolute foundation: positioning. Not all online services are created equal. You must target businesses rather than individuals. Why? Because businesses think about money entirely differently than we do. If a business is pulling in 50 grand a month, spending $2,000 on your service isn't a big deal to them at all, provided it helps them make even more money. You've got to position yourself where the money is already flowing. For example, don't just edit videos for a small vlogger. Edit videos for an entrepreneur selling a high-ticket product. Don't write cheap blog articles. Write copy that optimizes landing pages to convert leads into sales. Now, once you're positioned correctly, you need leverage. If you're charging by the hour, your income is literally capped. The client will always want to keep your hours low to save a few bucks. But if you charge for ROI, return on investment, the whole game changes. Businesses do not pay for effort. They pay for results. If you can prove that your ad management directly brings in more sales, you instantly shift from being a replaceable, annoying expense to a highly valuable profit generator. And trust me, they will happily pay you a premium for that. Moving up, the final 2 pieces of the pyramid are reach and automation. For reach, you can't just sit around waiting for clients to magically find you. You have to make them come to you. Post your work publicly. The source actually highlights this awesome story about a designer who just posted his custom movie posters on TikTok for fun. Well, that eventually flooded his inbox with paying clients. Always show those before and afters to prove your value. And finally, automation. Did you know 95% of side hustles fail simply because people are disorganized and miss deadlines? Think about that. Talent absolutely doesn't matter if you aren't reliable. Utilizing tools like a CRM, a customer relationship management system, keeps your emails, client notes, and deadlines in one fully automated place. Being fiercely reliable is quite literally the ultimate cheat code to getting paid again and again. So you've mastered the pyramid, you're super reliable, and you've generated that first 10 grand. That's amazing. But here is the ultimate question. How do you turn that income into actual lasting wealth? Let's tackle Section 4, the Wealth Building Risk Scale, Keeping and Multiplying. Check out this investment risk scale. We're going to walk through 4 distinct investment tiers right now, moving sequentially from the safest financial buffer on the far left all the way up to the highest risk plays on the right. Tier 1 is your high-interest savings account. Look, a 3% return isn't going to buy you a private jet, and honestly, that is not the point. This tier is your liquid financial safety net. As the source material emphasizes, having this cash buffer means that if life throws a massive, unexpected emergency at you, you won't be forced to sell off your actual investments at a painful loss just to cover the bill. It literally protects your long-term wealth from short-term disasters. Now, Tier 2 is where the absolute magic of compounding happens. Index funds. This is your low-maintenance, long-term investing vehicle. The most famous one is the S&P 500, packing America's top 503 publicly traded companies into one incredibly easy investment. And the power of time here is just astonishing. The S&P 500 has had an average return of over 10% over the last 10 years. Get this, if you simply redirect $5 a day, literally the cost of your daily coffee, into this index fund from age 18 to 67, you would retire a millionaire. No joke. All right, let's look at the high-risk, high-reward side of the scale. Individual stocks give you hands-on learning and direct exposure to specific companies. It's super engaging, for sure, but it comes with way more volatility than a broad index fund. Then, of course, there's cryptocurrency, the highest risk tier. The source makes it very clear that while there is absolutely money to be made here, it requires extreme caution. If you're going to play in this space, you must build positions slowly through dollar cost averaging. Fully understand the massive volatility you're signing up for, and absolutely only invest what you can afford to lose. And that brings us to the core philosophy of this entire explainer. The rich see their income as something to spend, whereas the wealthy use it to make more money. Remember, the supercars, the designer clothes, the extravagant nights out, none of it matters at all unless you can turn your income into lasting security. The true measure of financial success isn't what you can buy today, but what your money can build for you tomorrow. So are you going to just settle for being rich, or are you finally ready to become wealthy?